early days, there was some reliability issues that we cannot pretend like they didn't happen. So I'll tell you that right now. Um, but I've heard, because again, I don't have one. I wish I did. I've heard that their customer service has improved and that they are trying to, they just signed a deal with LMU. They're officially partnered with Le Mans Ultimate. So I
Okay.
mean, I think if you buy one of these headsets, they give you the game for free. I mean, this episode is brought to you by Trophy AI, the ultimate performance coach tool for sim racers. Hello and welcome to the Chicane Podcast, where we discuss all things in the sim racing world. I'm your host, Jason Rivera, and I'm joined here by Mr. Jeff Smart. How's it going, Jeff?
Dude, it's going. It's going, man. I got in the rig a lot this week. It was, way more than normal. But how about you? Did you drive it all?
I have done zero driving. I've been slaving away, rowing away, if you may, on the computers and getting everything ready. Um, just a small update. I started putting out videos recently. I have a new guide for the SimHub control mapper. And I also have my first video review on the belt tensioners, which, speaking of, we're going to give you an actual live deep dive here on the show, which was a part of the plans here is to kind of follow up here and see how you're doing with it. You know what I'm saying? Because Jeff and I, we're pretty much on the same playing field when it comes to rigs. There's only subtle differences from our machines, but I think it'll be good, man. What about you? Did a lot of racing. I heard some F3 or F4 shenanigans happen this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you listen to the last episode, I made some poor life decisions and made kind of did some. I got into practices but didn't do qualifying, so I eventually came in last for a lot of races and lost a lot of I rating before I realized that should be on something you don't do. So I had to get into an F4 class that was like very bad strength of field, and it was like pile up in turn
Ooh.
one. So it was like survival of the fittest. I was like, just finish the race, build some iRacing so I can get out of these races. But it's still fun. It's still fun.
That's what I was about to say. You took it out of my mouth. Did you have fun though? That's the most important thing. Like,
Dude, I was like more nervous in that race than I've been in a lot of other ones because you're like, just you don't know what's going to happen out of every car. Like cars sliding off, and it was like wet. They had like it wasn't raining, but they had like standing water on the track, so it just added to a race that probably didn't need to be as interesting as it was. But,
I see some subtle upgrades over there. You look a little sharper. I am noticing it a lot here on the show, and usually on the show, the preview windows are not the greatest. Sometimes we have problems with that, but yeah, some upgrades over there. Highly appreciate that. Trying to make the show look a little better. I do have a few more announcements. On the 18th of this month, obviously, we're planning on doing a 10-hour race on the Nords, or excuse me, a 4-hour race on the Nords. So if you want to watch that, um, yeah, tune in on Saturday morning for me. And I was just thinking, wait, is the episode going to be live by the time that they see this and hear this? But yes,
yeah, I believe it should be. Yes,
we're trying to get better at announcing things, and it'll coincide with your schedule. Now, this one will not. At the time of this recording, the SimiCube 3 has been unveiled, and people know what it is. We don't know what it is right now in this time and in day and presence, but we will update you ASAP on what went down and what's coming out. So just gonna roll right into. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. You got
no,
anything
I was about to
else?
say I can't wait to. I mean, I'm would love to start seeing some of the SimiCube 2s, on the open market as people
Oh,
are
they're
getting
gonna
ready
be
to
on there
upgrade.
like plague, bro.
I hope
And
so.
honestly, I would still wait, man, because next month is Black Friday.
Oh, 100%.
I highly doubt SimiCube is going to run out of stock that fast. I highly doubt it. You know what I mean? Maybe they
Oh
have a
yeah.
deal, or maybe they don't. But it in my opinion, the price needs to come down, right? If there is a successor, unless they're trying to keep this one at the price point and increase the price even further, which I honestly I hope not. Um, I really hope not, because that's going to hurt. So we're tapping in on the motion funds here. So
Yeah. And
anyway,
I think we got the expos here starting momentarily too, any day now, right?
the expo starts on the 17th. So
17. I don't
that
know why I thought it was the 9th.
we
Okay.
keep thinking it's a ninth because
Oh.
that's probably my fault. And this is a correction on the show. I think I mentioned last episode or the previous one, can't remember, um, that the show was starting on the ninth, and it's because I speculated that SimiCube was going to unveil the base at the expo, but that's not the case. They're unveiling it on just a private event, and then they're going to bring it to Germany for people to try it out, which kind of
Gotcha.
it's kind of a kick in the left foot here, because I wish they did that for the US Expo, but we got the pedal. We got to try the pedal, so it's going to be the same type of deal over there. Um, their new passive pedal. But anyway, for today's Sindustry news update, a game called Forza Horizon and now Forza Horizon 6 has been confirmed to be in Japan, excuse me. And there's not much info on it. Again, we're still in the midst of waiting for the expo to drop and news to come out. So this week is a little slow on the news updates. You know what I mean? So I'll make sure to keep you everyone updated here on as the time goes on what the details on is. You know, basically everyone's speculating where it's going to be at or what kind of terrain, because they did Forza Horizon 5. The last one was in Mexico, but there's no possible way that they can, build an entire Mexican map. It's massive. So they choose like different locations and kind of tie it together. What we do know is that there's a picture of Mount Fuji, and a lot of people are happy. See if we could do some Tokyo drifting on the Mount Fuji up there, and it'll be fun. Some
That'd be dope.
shenanigans up there. Yeah, yeah, it would be. It's not really a sim racing title, but it is a fun title, is what I mean. It's a nice title for you to kick back, relax, pick up a controller. Some people drift on there with wheels, but again, the 5 versions of it, you know, and it's not really optimized for wheel controls. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to say, "Well, I have a wheel and it works perfectly fine." That's a very small group of people. I mean, I've tried. I would love to run it on my setup, but it's just something with the steering degrees is not adding up, not matching up. It's just weird looking. But anyway, that's a news update for this week, and I guess I'll roll right into my
Let's
topic.
let's get into it, bro. We got 2 killer topics today.
Hell yeah, we do. So today I want to talk about, because we keep mentioning Black Friday, we keep mentioning the holiday. October is Techtober, and I just want to get you guys prepared. If you're in the market for a VR headset, we did make a VR headset guide that's still relevant as of today. Still good to go. And I don't see the need to bring all the headsets in all over again, right? You guys can go back and watch that podcast that we did. I think it's Guide to VR. And I just want to add 2 additional headsets that recently released on the streets, and then there's others that are releasing in December. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. I'm going to share my screen.
There's some really nice headsets that are coming out here.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, this one included. This one's already out there, but go ahead.
look, they're already asking for my email. I just got here, man. Calm down. So here's the Bigscreen Beyond 2. Bigscreen started out with, they basically made an application. They weren't really in the market of making headsets, and they made a V1, and now they have a V2. And I'll just go ahead and read the description here. It says the Beyond 2 redefines immersion with next-gen optics delivering stunning edge-to-edge clarity and a wide 116 diagonal field of view. It's packed with micro OLED, so let that word sink in. Micro OLED displays, and new capabilities like adjustable IPD for ease of sharing and eye tracking. Now, even lighter at just 107 grams. But I mean, they say 107 grams with just the bare headset. That's with no audio. That's with no, I don't, any other attachment that you can get with it. So this is just a bare thing. You can customize your Beyond 2 with new colors that they got. We'll look at those and choose a custom fit cushion made from the shape of your face or a universal fit, which is a first. I think it's a first. I haven't seen that before, but usually the first one you would have to have an iPhone because it was an iPhone only thing, and then you would have to scan your face, send that data in, and they would make you a mold right here. See around the plastic here, this little rubber gasket thing. So now we're gonna go over to some of the options here. Eye tracking to me is a must in 2025 because eye tracking allows for more performance for basically the same hardware. When you introduce phobiatic rendering, it's super important to consider having this because you can get away with sometimes double the frame rate with the same hardware that you already have in your computers. So this price here is very attractive. I'm not sure if well, not that it's attractive, excuse me, wrong choice of words. It's a must, in my opinion. So now our total cost is going up just that much more, right? So when
So
we come,
I don't,
yeah, go ahead.
if I could jump in, I have a question really. Eye tracking. So you can control and click on things with, with your eye. What's eye tracking doing? Why is it worth $200?
So on the PlayStation, on the PS, on the PlayStation
PSV, yeah.
PSVR2, whatever. Um, I'm not sure if you can click on things because I don't have one. Can't lie to you guys here, but I know that it will track your eyes, your iris, and wherever your iris looks, it will make that image look in full fidelity. You know what I mean? So right now I'm staring at this camera lens, looking at you all, and you're looking at your lens too, Jeff. Can you see crystal clear from here on out of your peripheral view? That's basically what phobiatic rendering is. So this space around your face, for those listening, if you look at yourself in the car, don't crash the car. First, bad example. But just imagine like you're looking straight ahead, you're looking at the road. You can see your doors, but they're not in full view. You would have to physically move your face and eyes to kind of focus in on that. And that's basically what phobiatic rendering is. So you don't have to let's say you wanted to game in 4K or VR in 4K, you don't have to have the full fidelity on the sides, on the all the way on the bottom or whatever underneath you. Things that you're not really looking at can be blurred out. But it must be done in a way that you don't notice that they're blurred out in a sense, right? It has to be how do you say, copacetic. It needs to work with each other. It can't be like just the bottom portion of your screen just looks like terrible or whatever. It has to have some sort of scaling, which
Right. And it's
basically
got to be quick too, right?
it's got to be fast. Yes, it's got to be real fast. It's got to be faster than as fast as you can look at something with your eye, which is pretty damn fast. We could change direction very quickly. So that's basically what eye tracking is. And I think it's a must have in 2025. I mean, especially with iRacing now, if you're an iRacer, they just added support for this, and I'm hearing great things across the internet about it. So yeah, this is the funky color selections you guys can pick from.
Dude, these ones remind me of that dude on Star Trek. I forget the dude's name. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
I don't. Somebody will come up with the name of whoever it is. I'm not a.
That was a while ago, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Star Trek. We're aging our. We're kind of putting in the age there.
So this one got me because I went all the way to like about to hit the button. That's just for the headset. If
Correct.
you don't, they require. I'm gonna butcher the name. Stations, room stations, ground stations, whatever
They're like
these
these base stations that you have to buy, and they're like
you gotta buy
third
2
party.
of them.
Yeah.
And they're like 200 a pop.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever it is, now you're adding $400 to this thing. So that started off reasonable, and now it's not so reasonable anymore at that point. That was my only gripe, and I have heard nothing but good things about Bigscreen and their products, but it's also hard to.
It's a tough pill to swallow, dude. Because
there's just so many. There's also so many reviews out there of people getting them from the manufacturer to give reviews, and I have to trust the person first and know them personally before I'm going to take that, straight no chaser as being, I don't know a lot of people that would call a spade if they got a product for free, but
for real. So, I mean, think about it. You start off with a base price here, and then you start adding, the cushion, which you gotta have a cushion, bro. I mean, come on, it's gonna break your damn face off. So,
well, you don't want light creeping through,
and that too, yeah, or it like scarring your face up,
Fair.
So if you look at these headsets that have a single band, I mean, these guys are light enough for it not to be so bad, but think about it. It's only a single band that's squeezing the headset onto your head. That's what's holding it there. So a headband, a band that goes in the middle of it would be a lot better sustainable. So that way you don't have to tighten it as much because you have something that's being hung on top of your head. That, again, personal opinion. I'm pretty sure someone says that they have one of these and they've used it for 38 hours and it's all good to go. So let me go through. FOV is 116 degrees. This
Solid.
One's a hard thing to explain here. It's just FOV is basically how much field of view, how much to the sides and the center you can see. And 116 is pretty damn great. Let's just say that. That's pretty damn great. So dual micro OLED displays. So this thing has 13.1 million pixels. It's packed into two 1-inch OLED displays. That is insane for it to be this tiny and basically have a similar quality to what we're looking at back here. And I'm pretty sure Jeff came over the other day and he was like, dude, these screens.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. So let's just run through the specs here. This is a resolution 5120 by 2560. The contrast ratio 500,000 to 1. Jesus.
This is an important one here.
Yeah, 90 hertz. So
good enough.
That is great. 90 hertz is the industry standard. This is the bread and butter for VR. You don't really need anything higher than 90. Even 72, you would just get by with 72. And I think that's the minimum nowadays. And then there's the peak pixels per degree, right? The 32 pixels per degree. This is the Steam tracking device that Jeff was talking about. These are the little stations. So now this device, and we're not grilling it. I'm just comparing. We're just comparing to the other headset that I'm going to talk about. It's not included, and you have to go shopping for this thing. And sometimes they're sold out. Sometimes you have to buy them used, and it could be messy, So here's the eye tracking. It's using advanced AI and computer vision research to get you that, and it works on both. It's got an interface running on AMD and NVIDIA graphics, so that got you covered. Then the adjustable IPD. Dave Cam did an excellent video showing off this headset, and shout out to him. I'll leave a link because I did watch that video and I found it very interesting. And when he started pointing out some of the things that I'm sharing here, this is how I got the idea to throw in the other headset and compare it to it. You know what I'm saying? So minimum, this is the specs. I mean, obviously a 2070, which I would not call that minimum. I would
No.
call that barely scraping like everything on low. Like you don't even see shadows,
What's
like
the point of
nothing.
buying? If you're going to buy this headset, you're not running a
And
2070.
that's
It'd
a
be a
great point,
complete
Jeff. Like,
waste.
yeah, because you're buying an OLED display, right, on your face, and you're gonna have to turn down the graphics. You might as well just sim race with a single monitor. You'll be better off. You know what I mean? Honestly,
Or take the 1200 you're going to put buying this thing, buy a better graphics card, and then just rock a Quest 3 for the meantime.
that's it.
You know,
Yeah.
because you're just not going to be not utilizing this thing nearly as good as you could.
And the thing about technology is, you know, that's a good point because the thing about technology is there's always something new coming out. There's always something new like on the horizon.
I got
So,
one more point here that I think for me is important is this connects via DisplayPort. I'm out of DisplayPorts, you know, so
interesting.
that it's right there, buddy. DisplayPort 1.4. Um,
No, this is
so
the
or is yeah,
these
that's
are
it.
the tech specs.
No, below it.
Oh,
Or
below.
nope. Anyways, I believe this connects. I think this just
Oh,
goes
I see it here.
VR wide. Is
Oh, so
because
it's calling for a display port. Interesting.
so I run a Quest 3 and I'm drive 50/50 VR versus triples, and I can get away with a Quest 3 because it's USB-C.
Right.
I don't have another display port. I'm dead in the water. I can't even take off the top monitor because that's just HDMI. So that's an absolute goes in the agonculator when I'm looking for another headset.
So I will say that you can purchase third-party splitters. You can have them switch back and forth if you don't mind pressing a button, but then that's another cost. That just keeps building up on the cost, right? One of those switchers, if you want a fancy one with a remote controller, yeah, you're looking about $50 to $60. You know,
And then NVIDIA Surrounds, I'm sure, is going to shit itself when
oh,
you try to use that.
NVIDIA Surround is gonna have a heart attack, bro. It's
So
gonna have a freaking aneurysm. Like it is, you're gonna have to shut the whole thing down. Even without NVIDIA, just Windows itself, the display management is atrocious. I mean, with my triple 42s back here, I plugged in a VR headset and I used virtual display, just testing things out. And as soon as I came out of it, one of them was off, then the other one would turn on, change resolution, then this one would come on, the left one would come on and turn on and off. And it was like testing each monitor, and it was driving me insane. It took like 10 minutes. I just straight shut down, and I was like, okay.
we'll start this from scratch. I just bring that up as a data point for people to make sure that they're thinking about that type of stuff if they're going to order a headset that requires a display port.
All right, so this is coming out in December. And then there's other options
Well, I
that.
think if you order it now, you get them in December because when I was looking at it, it was deliveries were November. So I think they're kicking out batches, at least for the big screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
Unless they're
Jeff
pushing the
is.
whole thing back. But I'm really looking in these with how much I've been driving in VR.
Yeah, so they have a new Air model, I think it was. No, excuse me, I'm confusing. So this is big screen. Sorry about that, guys. This is big screen. So now what I want to share now is the competitor. And the competitor is Pimax. And Pimax wants to chat. Of course, everybody they want me to sign up for emails. So they also have the Dream Air, which is an 8K resolution. And it's the world's smallest full featured VR headset. So, I mean,
What's full feature?
well, let's go and find out, shall we?
I mean, it's just like world first. by a standard that we're gonna make a, come on, just tell
Yeah,
me
give
what
it
you
to me
got.
straight,
You
bro.
don't have to
What's
tell me
up?
that you're,
Okay, so it's micro OLED lenses by Sony, pancake
I saw
optics.
Red Bull on there. I'm done with it.
I know. You, bro. You're kind of a Red Bull fan, man.
I
I
am.
heard
I'm
you.
slowly turning into one.
I know. We can't be friends after that.
I know.
So
I'm sorry.
not F1 friends for sure. So pancake optics, from the future it says here, but in a Quest 3, that's the kind of optics that you're using is pancake optics. Inside out tracking. So tracking is our way to make your VR journey smoother. The headset tracks your head, your eyes, your controllers, and even your hands if you wish. I don't see anything about a need for adding any third party nothing. Um,
So yeah, this one have pass through. Do we
that's a
know?
good question.
If it's tracking hands, I imagine that it's gonna have. I don't see any cameras on there, but that doesn't mean that they don't.
Behind the lenses, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
for them to see all this, it has to have something. Maybe they do have something.
You know,
Again, guys, this is all Chicane podcast is straight up like live. We don't plan this stuff.
and
So don't.
and to kind of have a further discussion here is I don't believe pass through is there for sim racing. Jason and I, what is this, like maybe 6 months ago, we put some effort into maximizing the options that enable pass through, where you could see your VR, but you see your screen, your wheel, hands, and cockpit more or less. And
Oh yeah,
we just couldn't crack it where it was like it looked good enough. It was just it did both shitty, or
yeah, because it requires a super dark, pitch black room, and I mean darker than dark, bro. Like they want you to be in a room that's darker than like being outside on a boat in the middle of the ocean. That's the kind of dark they want to be, and I'm pretty sure
and then a
some people.
spotlight on the object that you want lit up.
And
You're
then
like,
you
it's
want to
just,
light on the
yeah,
object.
it's just this. All right, we're just not there yet. I hope we, that would be great, but pass through is not on my list of requirements for VR at the moment.
So I can't find the specs, so we'll just move on. I mean, I do want to talk about this headset, which is the Crystal Super Micro OLED, which again they have the craziest names for this thing: Crystal Super Golden Bundle, the Crystal, like Jesus, the QLED version.
It's hard to keep them straight, to be honest with this company. There's just too complicated.
These guys are pumping out products like there's no tomorrow, like for real. So in my personal opinion, if I had to choose between those two, I would go this route. And the reason is it's heavy. It's a heavier headset. It is a lot larger. But then the thing is the pound for dollar, right? What are you getting in return? So you get look at the resolution on this thing. Look at the same FOV, right? 116. Let me see if we can integrated everything. It has it all. It's got audio. It's got the tracking. It's got controllers. You don't need to work. You buy this thing, you put it on, and you go. And the beauty is that this cable right here, the DisplayPort has a built-in splitter, right, ready to go.
Oh,
and these guys, they're
brilliant.
heavy, but they're comfortable. You see all this padding, some forehead padding here. I mean, you're gonna look like somebody coming out of like an alien movie or something with this thing on. Like it's gonna be. But I mean, come on, it has integrated. Let me see if there's a. And I heard really good things about their software. Pimax, if you're listening, I would love to try one. Jeff would definitely love to try
True
one.
that.
Send one to him.
Dude, the Quest software is garbage. The connectivity for that thing, and I know that's just like a thing out on, a lot of people are having problems with the Meta Quest software. It's just, it takes me like 5 tries to get it to hook up to the computer.
Yeah.
Once it connects, it's good, but God, like sometimes you got to restart your PC. Sometimes you got to restart your head. Just like, just work. I paid a lot of money for this thing. Just work.
Right. Yeah. Just let me. It's 2025. I mean, we shouldn't be dealing with these shenanigans anyway.
Yeah.
They know what you're going to do with it. They know they market it as a feature, so make it easier on people. Why are you making it so difficult? Eh, I want to point out right here that you guys are seeing on the screen is exactly what I was explaining earlier. This is how phobiatic rendering works. And it's got a cockpit, Jeff. You're getting into that flight thing.
I know. Dude, VR, flight sims in a VR, Jason, are unbelievable.
Oh, I bet.
Unbelievable.
I have no doubt about
But
that.
this is not a flight sim podcast. This is
yeah, it's not a flight sim podcast. But again, we have rigs.
But if you have it, it's fairly, you can get a hotel stick and throttle, and it's fairly cheap and have an unbelievable experience.
Hell yeah, bro. So you have 53 pixels per inch versus I can't remember the number at the moment. I think it was 30. Look at the resolution, dude. Same 90 hertz and 116, right? Same thing. And then you can go up for even super wide, ultra wide, 140 horizontal, which is insane, bro. Like, that's insane. So this is the thing about this headset. These things are modular. You can buy the module. Let's say you wanted the ultra wide module. You can take this module off. Look, I was just mentioning that you can take this off and put something ultra wide. Say if you want to play DCS, where you don't care too much about the you care about the instruments on the aircraft, of course, but you would love to see more to the sides, because the more to the sides you can see and above, to the sides, because above is you gonna have to pull up to see them. But the more to the sides you can see, the better it is at spotting aircraft, in my opinion.
Yeah,
what do you think, Jeff? You
100%. I mean, you are moving around in the cockpit, like, especially, if you're just flying, but if you're like, you're trying to shoot something down or being shot down, I mean, like, you're, moving all around. You look like an idiot, but you're all around the rig, looking behind you and stuff. So that would be super helpful.
Yeah. So in retrospect, guys, I mean, let me just close it here. This is just a quick discussion between buddies right now that we just happened to do on the show, that's kind of showcasing how we would shop for something in the eyes of a consumer, right? Because if you're a buyer, you're a consumer, and you're looking to see, well, where's my money going, right? I didn't even see that. I didn't even check the price. I think the price is like, and I should have checked the price, bro.
I think that, I think the first one starts around the same price that the Beyond 2, the Bigscreen 2 does, and then it gets exponentially more expensive from there.
I will redeem myself here right now, because I don't want to leave you guys leaving in the dirt like that. So these are the prices. In my eyes, this guy right here is unbeatable. Because if you looked at this is unbeatable. Because if I was to pre-order this, I'm afraid to click it because it's going to want my email, my social security, and all kinds of stuff. So let me just hold on. If you was to add everything you need to achieve what this guy can do, you'd be paying roughly the same price. And and those base stations, like Dave Cam said, quoting Dave Cam, I really enjoyed that video. You need at least 2 of them. One of them is not enough. That's like $400 right there.
And it's Bush League. You got to buy them used. I'm sorry. Like, that's the part that it drives. Like, you got to buy them on eBay or something.
Yeah. And they're hard to find.
Yeah.
And especially when these guys start to drop, when the other headsets are going to drop, good luck buying one of those.
Have you heard? I'm sorry, Jason. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I just wanted to hold that thought, Jeff. Let me just finish up here. I like that they have this option here with an upfront payment. They don't make you pay the full price of this. I think I got the wrong headset. I think it's the 50. Anyway, let's pretend, right? They all do this. They all do this from the Crystal Super up. You don't pay the full price. You pay an upfront cost, and then they bill you the rest later. It's kind of weird.
Deliver the headset,
right? And I asked a good buddy of mine. So shout out to Edub Sim Racing. And I asked him about this, and I was like, wait a minute. So they sent you the headset, and you pay the upfront cost. Do you have to run a credit check, right? Because you just gave me a $2,000 headset. Now I'm running for the hills, Jeff. Canceling the credit card.
He go.
It got disappear. You know, I'm not condoning that at all, or I don't support that. But I'm just saying, it is an option because this is a very expensive piece of equipment. It is, it is. But we're comparing the two top dogs in the VR space. But anyway, I'll leave links to everything. Jeff, what did you want to mention?
Have you heard anything about Pimax not, or just blowing their, hey, we're going to get this product shipped out and they're late to shipping those out? I thought I heard something about that.
In the early days, they did. And
okay.
In the early days, there was some reliability issues that we cannot pretend like they didn't happen. So I'll tell you that right now. But I've heard, because again, I don't have one. I wish I did. I've heard that their customer service has improved and that they are trying to, they just signed a deal with LMU. They're officially partnered with Le Mans Ultimate. So I mean, I think if you buy one of these headsets, they give you the game for free. I mean, you just spent $2,000,
$30.
Well, if you give me the game, are you giving me the full game? I don't want to burn on LMU too much. You're going to give me the game, and then I'm going to have to go and spend money again, or do I get the full thing, or how does this work?
Fair point. I'd love to try one out if they want to send one.
That'd be awesome. So if they're listening, maybe I'll forward this show to them and see if we can give you guys better feedback. But again, just remember, this is live. We don't script this, and we're just looking at things as we see them in this current market, because a lot of what I'm noticing is that these websites, they do a terrible job at telling me the specs. They give me big pictures that I don't care about, because the picture is that's not what that's going to look like when I get the thing. I want to see more details about the product. So they make you go through, they make you click all kinds of stuff, like if you were going to buy it, and then you get the specs, So minor criticism, or it could just be me that doesn't know how to navigate a website. I mean, that could be it. I mean, I accept that one. That one's easy. So I think that's going to be it. Yeah, I think I'll wrap that up. It's just a quick discussion on some VR headsets that are coming out, for the holidays.
I'd love to, step up for my Quest 3. The Quest 3, I feel like we owe it to at least speak to it, because the dollar to quality ratio for a Quest 3 is hard to compete. It's not top of the line, but it's not top of the line price, not by any stretch of the imagination. So it's a fairly solid headset for what, $300 now?
No, they're still $500.
You can get used ones, no problem, for $300. But yeah, a new one.
$350. So around there. So. I mean, and to really see, here's the thing with the Quest, and I'll stop. I am a Quest fan because I love that the Quest does more than just sim racing and flying and being on the PC. You can take this thing with you. You can put it in a bag. You can go on travel with it. You can play golf in your hotel room if you're weird like that.
You can watch a 100-inch TV
screen and
on
it
the
looks
flight
crisp.
To wherever you're going. Right?
And it looks crisp.
Yep.
I mean, and it has pass through. You could walk around the house with this thing and not hit nobody. Fully wireless. So I mean, we got to give it some. It's a pretty incredible piece of tech for what it is and for how much it costs, honestly. Want to have a live coach available on demand? With Trophy AI, you'll be able to practice with Manso AI at your convenience. A real-time coach in your headphones to navigate and guide you through the track, helping you achieve race pace. This tool is awesome as it provides full brake, throttle, and steering telemetry on screen with a live review getting you ready for your next big race. Check links to Trophy AI in the description, and also use Chicane12 in all caps for a 12% discount. But yeah, that's kind of my topic for today, and I'll pass it over to you for for the main event, I guess. The main
Yeah, all
event.
right. So I don't think should be a surprise to anybody that Jason and I have both got the belt tensioner by Cubic Systems. And
Correct. Cubic
yeah, so
Systems QS BT1.
yeah,
I know
inside
because
base
I said that 1,000 times.
for your
Yeah,
review.
but sorry.
If you haven't seen Jason's review that he just put out, give it a watch. It is super high quality, a lot of information. You can see it in action. But anyways, so we both got it. A little bit of inside baseball is I've been looking at one of these for quite a while. I think I've watched damn near every YouTube review about them. And I went to the expo with my heart set on getting to try one of them and to see what they were all about. And quite frankly, blew me away. I mean, the first thing you get into a rig with one of them is the first thing you kind of notice. Even a motion rig is just like, whoa, like I'm attached, feel like I'm attached part of the car. Um, Jason, I thought we'd have a kind of a discussion over, I got some discussion points here and we could give people some feedback. So this is, it could be in that, we can give some more info to those that are maybe on the
Oh,
fence
for
being
sure.
because they're not
Yeah.
a cheap piece of gear. So I
Yeah.
thought I wanted one. My first was to help the immersion, the level of immersion, make you feel like you're in a car. And I'll go first here and then pass it to you. What your thoughts are? And like it blows that out of the water. Like the immersion level of one of these things. When you, my analogy here is, it in the Air Force they talk about when you get into a jet, you strap the jet onto you. You don't get in the jet, you strap the jet onto you, and you go into combat with the jet strapped onto you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel when I get in the car. I'm not the rig. I'm not getting into the rig. You get in and you strap the rig onto you, and you're getting into this car. And the level of feedback that you get, and now Jason, you kind of brought me onto the was it the road harshness setting that you can add to it.
Yeah.
Um, Incredible level of
Yeah.
immersion. Sometimes it's like, man, I'm like, I know a lot of these people aren't either on motion or have one of these, and I'm like bouncing around down the road. I'm like,
Yes.
uh,
Especially on the straights,
yeah, it's just super
like high speed
immersive.
straight.
And in a Formula car when I'm going around a high speed turn using downforce, it's grabbing your outside shoulder and squeezing it as in like you're going. Your body obviously wants to go to the outside, and it puts that pressure on you and it fools your mind that you are actually going around and that having that sustained g-force, if you will. So I think it has added incredible levels of immersion to my rig and my sim racing experience. So Jason, talk to me what your thoughts are on when it comes to immersion.
So immersion, right? It and I went over this on the review, but I'll go more into it because honestly, I didn't feel that way when I first started using it. What I felt was pure pain and agony because I bolted this thing. I went onto a
Tell them the
freaking live
story. This
stream
is
and I was being yanked to death. And then I chose a 50-minute race that was an endurance race. And I was like, dude, I just want out of this thing. And then it didn't have a button to turn it off. At the time, I didn't have I since bought smart plugs, but now when I first got it, I just bought it and then I put it on. There was no way to turn this thing off.
Jason's.
And
Let me just tell a little bit of story here because it's world class. So Jason's telling me, he's like, it just got delivered. I got it. My race starts in like an hour and a half, and I'm like, bro, that's gonna be close. Whether you get this thing installed, buttoned up, and he's
yeah,
coming down to like the wire, and I'm like, if you don't change the settings, you're gonna kill yourself because
be-
it out the box. This has way more power than anything coming out the box that
no,
you're gonna
bro, it's
strap on
insane.
to yourself that like potentially hurt yourself.
It
It's way stronger. But anyway, so what
and
did you
it's
do? You jumped in the rig for a 50-minute race with it on at the power that it comes with.
Michael told me, you told me. I said, how bad can it be? Yeah, right, bro. That thing was yanking on my chest. It was after a while I got used to the pain, but then I was like afraid to hit on the brakes, like because I didn't want to feel that pain. I was like avoiding it. I was like, I don't want to feel this. This is not cool right now. And then I started doing the fine tuning, and I started getting the belts to the correct tension and uh getting them to, how do you say, I'm just thinking, I'm sorry, I'm pausing.
There's a lot of
I'm,
settings that it go that
there's a reason why in the video I said to use a cell phone, because I was getting up out of the rig, make an adjustment, sit back down, get up out the rig. I did that like 10 times, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
it's
I need
brutal.
I need somebody to help me, and there's no one here. And I'm not gonna ask my wife. She don't know exactly what I'm trying to do, or what she's looking for. I wouldn't trouble her with that either. I just took a cell phone, bro, and I started recording to see how far up I needed to go. And once I did that, I put the belts. I put the belts on. They fit great, but then they were still hurting. So then I ordered some pads, and that fixed everything. Everything else was gone. So I mean, I know that's, we're not answering the question here. How is it more immersive? It feels like you're in a car. It really does. And you know, when you have bass shakers are usually low to the rig, right? They're always mounted low. If it's either under the seat or it's either on the sides of the rig. But now I'm getting feedback on top of my body, in addition to the butt kicker, which kind of completes the sphere, if you may, like a sphere around you of feedback. So you really feel like you're part of something. Like it it sounds cheesy as hell, bro, but when you jump in the rig and you actually have to strap up and you actually have to get them adjusted right, it it's that next step, right? It's that final step before adding a motion platform. It is. It
Cool.
really is.
All right. Next one is, I think we should let people know that this isn't something that you can just buy and hook up to your rig. You need to have your rig needs to be prepped for it. And what I mean by that is you need to have a molded seat, as well as a seat that has the holes installed from, you can see over Jason's left shoulder there, that the seat belts can pass through it. So you need to make sure that your rig is set up for that. And I will also say here that while it will work with a 4-point harness, I will not recommend a 4-point harness. Mikey at the Sim Racing Den I told at the expo, I was like, hey, I
Say
want
it,
one of
Jeff.
these things,
Say
and
it,
he
bro.
was okay.
I'm giving the go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
and
giving the go ahead.
he's like, don't use a 4, get a 5, and I'm like, yeah, bullshit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
That's what I said when I installed the thing,
And
and
I
it
got the
wasn't fine.
4, and it's like just pulling the whole rig up, and I was like, God damn, Mikey was right. So went out, ordered another 5-point harness, and let me tell you, that little last dick strap, if you will, the strap that comes through comes through the center, makes all the difference in the world. So this is a little inside joke that Jason and I have, that that little last strap makes all the difference in the world. You're going to want a 5, even a 6. I'm not sure if there's a difference, whether it makes it better or worse with a 5 or a 6. That's user preference at that point, but you need to have that one that keeps your lap belt down so it pulls on your shoulders and not just pulls everything up on you. So would you agree to that, Jason?
100%. The only thing I will say, and I left out of my video because I want you to make that choice, you the user. Um, it depends on your body type. For me, a 6-point is comfortable. It's way more comfortable because it hugs the insides of your legs. Uh, a 5-point is just going right down the middle. It's just one belt going right down the middle. So it depends what kind of body, what kind of, how do you say, um yeah, there's no other way to say it. What kind of physical shape you are, and how do you fit in this rig? Because some people like to have the belts over the seat, and for me, I like to have the belts go down in through the hole from the seat. And with our AKA mod that we made to mount the, how do you say this?
The
To
butt
mount the
kicker.
butt kicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I did was run the belts in there and made a tiny gap for the belts to just pass through because the buckle sits on the top, and then I just screwed in the mounts on the bottom. And you can buy you don't have to buy these mounts, these little, what do you call those loop mounts?
Yeah,
You just,
little eyelets. I mean,
yeah,
if you just go to a local hardware store, you can figure it out for
go to
probably cheaper than,
Amazon, bro.
yeah.
I went to Amazon and bought like 10 of them for like $15.
Yeah.
And then make sure that make sure that they'll fit a T-nut, depending on the T-nut size that you choose to use. And as long as you do that and make sure they're not too long. So that way, just take some measurements of how deep the profile is, and make sure that it doesn't, like, because you don't want metal to metal, right? You don't want the screw to be so long that it'll touch the actual rig and scratch it up. You know what I mean? I don't know. We paid a lot of money for these things, and Jeff is one of those guys that he will get it to work when he wants it to work. And he was like, "Oh, we bought these small little keyboards," and I was like, "Bro, none of this part of this rig, separate topic here,
Yeah.
is magnetic." He's like, "Just scrape the bare metal." I didn't say anything to you, Jeff, that day, and
No,
I'm
no, no,
telling
no.
you now.
Mount a little piece of metal. Like
Oh, okay. I thought you
yeah,
meant
no,
like
I would never just,
scrape off some bare metal. Like,
no.
bro, I am not doing that
It's
to my.
aluminum too, right? I don't think a magnet works on aluminum.
It's aluminium for some people.
Yeah, for those over the other side of the pond. Yeah, fair.
I'm telling you, I can't figure out English. I've been in the country for so long, I still can't figure it out. So it just depends who you are. You know what I mean? But uh yeah, I think you
Okay.
pretty much
Yeah.
agreeing with all the
Four will
points.
work. You're going to get way more satisfaction out of a 5 or a 6-point harness. Okay. All right. So I was a little surprised. Next topic here is I was a little surprised that it does more than just braking, the feel for braking. So like when you're going to obviously go into a corner and you hit the brakes, it pulls on your chest, but then it also has, Jason, how many settings do you think that the software has? I think it's probably,
Wow.
I mean, it's probably 20-ish.
Probably.
And I'll just go real
eh,
quick off the top of my head on some of them. You got obviously braking, centrifugal motion.
Mm-hmm.
There is the gear shifting up, gear shifting down. There's even RPMs. You can feel you can feel the car.
But it's not a single slider. You can adjust the sharpness.
There you
You
go.
know the
Perfect. Thank you. I
the
forgot
the
about that.
duration too. How long you want the feedback to feel. I usually trust Cubic to have those settings right, and all I've been touching so far is just the gain.
Yeah,
Just the
100%.
gain, the strength.
Usually it's turning it way down because I'm shocked at how strong this thing is.
Yeah,
Like,
because it'll do engine vibration. You can change the entire way this thing vibrates over the course of an entire red line. You
yeah,
could tell it at 100 RPMs, I want you to do this. It's insane what you can do to this thing, because that's what surprised me. Is it's not just a thing that you buy that just is going to pull whenever you stop, whenever you slam on the brakes, or whenever you hit the gas, or whatever it is, or whenever you crash. That's the difference between buying something that's third party and buying something that has, a plethora of settings and effects that you can easily tune. You know what I mean? Because they make it really easy for you to do that, in my opinion. At first, it looks like a whole world of holy crap. There's a lot of shit. And then you start to understand. You start to play with the settings, and you could do these on the fly
that
because
is
they're
cool.
really, yeah. You don't have to turn it off, or whenever you go to the pits, it's really smart. Whenever you go to the pits, it deactivates because there's no engine turned on, and it knows that the engine's not turned on. It's really smart that way. Really smart. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And another thing, my personal feedback is, kind of less is more with these things. Pick 3, maybe 4
Yes.
things that you like, and let it be after that. It just becomes noise. That's my opinion. I'm sure some other people turn a bunch more than that on, but that's what I found is my sweet spot.
I just think that if you guys, if you guys really, if you go and purchase this thing, regardless of where you purchase it from, you know what I mean? Turn down the brakes, because that was the hardest thing that I found. That was really just like taking the oxygen away from my lungs
It's
every
way
time.
stronger than it needs to be.
It's
And stronger than I even thought it was remotely that strong.
It is crazy, bro. It's crazy strong. And the gear shifting too can be a little just, like going like this to your body, like making your body jerk whenever you hit the gear. It's cool and it'll bring a smile to your face. But I mean, after a while, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, that was fun. But I want to use this for like, I want some information and some immersion, like a little bit of both, like a combination of both. So that's really how I tuned it. But honestly, I would not touch my ultimate advice here is to get it tuned the right way. And I mean, when I mean tune, fine tune, like the adjustments, make sure those belts are like pillows over your shoulders, and make sure that you got the right height for these guys.
That's a great point too. So go ahead, Jason. You can finish up your point. I'll add
Yeah,
on here.
no, just before we move on, make sure you got the right height, and then go into the software and start messing around, because the last thing you want to do is go in there, mess with the settings, then you adjust the belts. Now it's all messed up again, even though you can just go back to default. But just trust me, get them right. You'll know when they're right. You'll know right away when they feel right. Whenever you feel that force, the force should come evenly across the chest. It should not pull you down. It should not lift you up. If it's doing that, something's wrong, and it says it in the manual too. It's got like this cool little mannequin that shows them getting choked out.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you want the holes of your seat right at your shoulder. Unfortunately, I have a longer torso. I'm a taller dude, and mine are a little bit lower. So I had to buy off Etsy. A dude makes these 3D printed
Did those come in?
things. They did. Yeah, they help a lot. It basically lifts up the seat belt like an inch and a half. I don't think
So
you
it
can
works.
see them behind me, but yeah, they help a lot. I still wish it was higher, but it's a lot better. And that helps pull back and not squeeze me down.
Email the show at the Chicane Podcast if you have a tensioner. Jeff, share a link. We'll share a link with you so you can go and buy that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. That I didn't know. I know you got back from travel. We were talking about this is the thing. Jeff is on vacation, and we're talking about tensioners every day.
Dude, I got it like 5 days before I left, and I was
like, bro, it was longer than that.
It wasn't that much longer. It was,
bro. You think it was 5 days because you were like, I can't sleep right now. I want to go. It was way long. It was like a week. It
definitely gets you to want to get in the rig.
You had them. You literally ordered this thing while we were at the same gaming.
I did. That's
bro.
True.
That was over a month almost a month and a half now.
Yeah. Hey, so we'll give a quick story here on how this happened and give a shout out to a company, because, a lot of times you only hear companies when, stuff goes bad, right? Or they screw up shipping, whatever. So, I had a discussion with, and I'm going to butcher the name. So Jason, help me out here. Apivy.
Apivy.
Yes.
Apivy Sim.
Apivy Sim. I had a discussion with them, and super cool company. And I was like, hey, I would like to buy one of these, but nobody in the United States has got them in stock. And he was like, oh, we do. And I was like, hey, dude, like, I hate to say it, but as a customer, it says out of stock or sold out on your website. And he's like, oh, boop. I know we got some in the warehouse.
Apivy Simulator, yes.
There you
That's
go.
what it's called. And we even butchered that when we interviewed the owner, which,
super good dude.
Super nice guy. He hooked me up with the affiliate for the video too. So, I mean, right now they're sold out.
And they've got a bunch of batches in since the expo. So it just goes to show you that it's a sweet piece of gear.
People were picking them up because people were noticing. They were there was many rigs that were using them. Their own
There was.
Cubics, of course, right? Cubic's going to use their own stuff. And then I tried custom ones from other motion platforms, and they were not nearly as good. I would say the only one that rivaled, that's probably better, but it's not something that you can buy, is custom made. It's from Driven Dynamics, the $175,000 rig, which, remember, those belts were amazing. Those belts were like self adjusting.
That
So
was cool.
how
Yeah.
you just pull them down,
Yeah. It was
and
like,
then
I was like messing around. It's like, oh no,
you don't
it'll
have
be
to
good.
do anything to them. They know, they just go and they adjust. So maybe
It is
in the
also,
future,
yeah, those are also like twice as big too, and they sit up by your shoulders behind your seat. So, but
they
yeah,
take
those
them.
were cool too.
Yeah, they take like a mass, and it's not a consumer
Can't
product.
buy them. No.
Can't buy them. So
I'm gonna keep it moving here, Jason. I also want everybody to know I had a concern that I think I've kind of hit this a bunch of times, that it wasn't going to be strong enough let me tell you, this thing's plenty strong enough. I think I have it on, maybe if you had to put percent to the gain slider, Jason, I think I have it at like maybe 20%
for
for braking.
for braking, I use 40.
Yeah.
I found that 40
You
was
could
good
kill
enough.
yourself if you
Yeah,
maxed
you
it
can
out.
get hurt
You
on
could
this thing.
like, it's almost like, oh, maybe I should put an emergency stop on this thing. It's that strong.
Yeah.
Like if there was a short in there, and you could hurt yourself.
The
So
thing
it's
is
plenty
pretty
strong
smart
enough.
though. It's smart. It has like safety features built in to prevent certain things from happening. Like if telemetry goes wild or something, it's not gonna like. But it's still 90 pounds of force onto your chest.
It's a lot.
That can break your collarbone. It could break your ribs. It could snap something. I can promise you, with enough force, a subtle movement, it could be dangerous, especially if you have kids and you had the idea of putting kids in the rig and strapping them in.
That's a
You gotta
very good point.
you gotta be careful.
It's not a toy. This is
Honestly,
not a toy.
I wouldn't even do that. I would just disable it, and that's the cool thing. You can just turn it off, take the belts out the way, and let them race. Let them have fun on the rig, because their bones are still young and developing. That's the last thing you want for your kids. I mean, that goes without saying. Same thing with a direct drive, right? You got these 25, 20 newtons, even your 16 Newton meters can really break his fingers if he's not careful, if the settings are dialed too high.
Sure.
So have a kid profile. Is what I would recommend. That way you
All right.
load up your son's profile.
It's one way to get him to leave your rig alone.
There you go.
All right, I got two more, and we'll kind of round this topic out. Do you think it makes you faster?
Okay.
It's not the only reason you buy stuff, right? To make you faster, but it's a data point worth talking about.
I will say it makes me catch the car from doing things that I don't want it to do. But that doesn't make me faster.
That's
because
a very interesting point. Fair.
Because all I did was stop me from doing something.
Like losing the back end or something.
But the line is still the same. The braking points are still the same. I learned the limit of the car, but that means that I'm crossing the line somewhere. So I might have messed up somewhere and I have to correct it. So it doesn't make you, in my opinion, it does not. It does not make you faster. There's nothing replaces brakes and a wheelbase, but I don't want to lie here and say that it makes you faster. Does it make you understand what the car is doing? Yes, 100%. Yes. And it makes you feel this is one of those cases. Remember when we mentioned motion? This is an 80-20 situation yet again. It's mainly an immersive piece of gear. Now, if you was training for like a race coming up, then it can show you where the limits of the car are quicker. But that doesn't make me faster. It just teaches me where the limits are. Does that make sense?
No, I think you have a great point there that says, no, I don't think it makes you faster, but I don't lose the car as often because I have more feedback of what the car's doing.
Yeah, I
Is
have that
that is
extra thing.
better? Okay. Yeah.
I have the
No,
brakes, I have the steering wheel, the butt kicker, and now I have another thing telling me, hey, because you start to feel it on one side. If it's left or right, you start to feel like some tingly sensation going on over here. I don't know what that thing is, but I know that something's loose. But the thing is that a belts are there's only two belts. There's not four of them. You know what I mean? So all I know is left and right. I don't know if it's rear. I don't know if it's forward. You know, so that's where butt kickers and shakers will tell you where it is. You see what I mean? Or motion platforms. Motion platforms will definitely tell you where exactly
so,
what you know
so
where you're
speaking
about
of
to die, like, basically.
speaking of this, so the box comes in and Jason has a big old heartburn with the box because it says entry level motion. And this brings me to my last point here is Jason was like, entry level,
Yeah.
entry. I just dropped 2 G's on entry.
Yes.
This ain't entry.
I
It
don't
was
like the
just
fact
funny.
that it
Don't
says
put
entry level.
entry level.
You know,
It
because
was.
in cubic size, that's kind of like, okay, before I get into it,
It was just funny. Like, I don't want to think I just bought some entry level stuff. It was.
that's like you go into a Porsche dealer and they have whatever I don't know all the models, but let's say they have a lower model, right?
Like a
And then
boxer or
you
something.
have, yeah, a Boxster or a good one, or 718 Cayman, or the SUV, right? You can't compare that to a GT3 RS, bro. There's no comparison. That's two different machines. So then imagine you walk into Porsche and they said, "Oh yeah, that's our entry level model." You're gonna feel,
Like, bro, I just bought the entry level. Like,
bro, that's like $100,000 car still,
that's my
bro.
dream car. Are you calling that thing
Yeah,
entry level?
yeah,
So
exactly.
it
It's
was
got
just funny.
turbo and everything, but in cubic size, I believe that they believe that the belts, and I'm not necessarily defending them all the way, but I kind of see what the idea was with it. It's kind of like this is your entry into motion. That's how they should have put it, because that's what I believe the belts are. The belts are the closest thing before you go to motion, honestly. And for some, it's enough to keep them away from motion, you
I
know?
think you hit, and I was going to bring up this point is um, when we were at the expo, I was like, oh, motion to be so nice. It's expensive. Can I justify it? And I got the bell tensioner, and that itch gone for me, gone
For now.
for that fair, but it's
For
gone.
the,
I mean, I am so happy with my rig right now. I have no drive looking at any motion for now.
yeah,
Jason, where are you
this is
at?
legit. This is legit, guys. Jeff is not overhyping. I've noticed that he has been on his rig almost every night when it used to be some nights on the weekend, that night that
That's
he does
fair.
some sim racing. Now he's like, bro, he texts me results of a race or shows me a big pile up car crash from the atrocities, excuse me, of the Formula
Yeah,
grids. It's kind of dangerous out there. It's a little, school of the hard knocks over there. So I will say this: Jeff he's talking truth here, because this man, he's got a wheel, the wheelbase, he's got the flight sim, he's got the VR stuff. I think this is the first product that really hit you hard, like, damn, that was worth it, or
oh yeah,
damn, if something happened to them today, I'm 100% sure you're gonna find a way to get this thing fixed or replaced. I'm pretty
100%.
sure. I mean, you'll cry. We'll complain about it. We'll both cry
I'd have to
about
work
it.
with Cubic, but I would not find a way. It's like a butt kicker. I wouldn't get in the rig without, like you just, now that I've driven with it, it's like I could never get in there and not have
And,
it.
and they work together. Like, the butt kicker feedback works really well with the belts,
It
because
does.
I've tried haptics. I've tried turning them off and turning the butt kicker off and just the belts, and then turning the butt kicker without the belts. And it is, once you get used to something, man, just be careful, because once you get used to something, it's kind of over. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this. Remember in the early 2000s when we were blown away by LCDs that were 55-inch LCDs. Now we're looking at OLED TVs, and you would never go back now. It's like your eyes already saw something and got used to it. It's over. 4K resolution on movies, mandatory 4K. If it's in
Yeah.
1080p,
What do you
you're
mean?
gonna complain. You know, you're gonna
There's like
complain. You
there's like Vaseline or something on the TV screen,
oh
but
shit.
I can't see it. Look, something wrong with it.
Yeah,
I,
something's wrong with it. But back when
Jason,
1080p dropped, when Blu-rays were coming out with 1080p, I think Blu-ray. I forget. Yeah, Blu-ray was 1080p. I think in the early stages. That looked mint. It looked crisp.
yeah, that's funny.
Because before that, we had DVD was 480p, and when DVD came out,
That was the
DVD was the
shit.
best thing, bro. That was the shit.
Yeah.
We were going over to my friend's house. He had a $600 DVD player. Now you can buy a DVD player for like $12.
Could you even, yeah, I was like, could you even buy them anymore? All
So
right.
what's up? You had a question?
Last question.
Okay.
I think out the door, shipped, you're looking at just under 2K. Is it worth it?
It is.
And this is Jason and Jeff's money here. This is not a nickel that was given or discounted for us because of what we do.
No, it was not. And it wasn't my plan to have an affiliate with them. We met them there. AppyV was really cool. If you go and watch the tour video that we have, you can see who they are right away at the start of the video. And they were showing off cubic motion rigs, which is what they do. They do turnkey setups for them. And to me, I would say it is worth it, just as long as you have everything else. And we say this a lot. And I know a lot of people get excited and they want to jump the gun, but nothing replaces a decent set of pedals, a decent steering wheel, and a decent wheelbase. If you have those three, and the cockpit, because you need the cockpit.
You need the cockpit, yeah.
The cockpit is like the motherboard. The cockpit is home base. You know, think of it like this: if you was to buy a house, the first thing you look at the house when you're buying it is, well, how big is the house? You know what I mean? What features does this house have? So then once you buy the house and you move in, then you start adding stuff to it. That's what a rig cockpit is. That's how you got to look at cockpits. Do not skimp on them. And the seat, and I will bring it up here. I mean, Jeff and I had a discussion that he wasn't too happy with his seat the way it is, and he's trying to fix it with adding the risers and trying to get it just right. There's a reason why I believe in the buy once and cry once, Jeff. That's another good solid reason why. Spend that money, spend it right, and if you can't spend it, save up for it. You don't have to, honestly, you don't have to buy things right away just because your friend has it, or just because your neighbor down the street has it, or because if you saw a YouTube video of somebody using something. This is raw honesty right here. Just because they're showing it off doesn't mean that you have to sell an arm and a leg to get something, you know? But it's something that you could build on. And I believe that with a budget, you could save up. The same way I saved up, same way Jeff saves up for hardware. We're not like paid to do any of this stuff, you know? So those are my thoughts on it. Is it worth it? If you have everything and you have the funds, 100%. It is worth it. I would buy it again today. I would buy it again tomorrow. If something happened to it, I'm going to fall into a deep depression. And
fair point.
Okay. I figured I hit you with that because I kind of go off the wall with emotion. So I wanted to answer your question. What about you? Same question, just right back at you.
I think you said it perfectly. If I had to answer with one word, yes, 100%.
Okay.
I would be miserable if it broke and I didn't have it.
Yeah, because you knew what it was.
I
It's
I think
you know
if
what it
I
is.
thought I was going to get something and be here and happy with it, and where I am today, I'm definitely above. It has exceeded my expectations on the product and how good it is. I've exceeded the amount of enjoyment and immersion that I thought I was going to get.
And I'm going to bring up another point because the Sim Gaming Expo is happening again next year. It's actually being planned already by George. George is
Animal,
already, yeah,
animal.
already that's being in the works right now. And I don't want you guys to get confused with what I just said because I realize I'm thinking about it and I'm like, listen, if you try belt tensioners, you're going to want them. If you try an active pedal, you're going to want them. If you try a motion rig, you're going to want the motion rig. But again, you have to think about the long term of things, right? My advice to anybody that's building and is considering hardware is if you have the funds to spare and get it and not go bankrupt or not be late on any bills, then go right ahead. I recommend it 100%. You know, there's tons of reviews. I just put out mine. I'm late to the party, but there's tons of reviews. Michael from the Sim Racing Den, Race Beyond Matter, Boosted Media. Dan Suzuki just did a recent follow up on the bell tensioner.
Race Beyond Matter.
Yeah, Base Beyond Matter, and they're all positive. It's all positive, and we're trying to tell you again that it's pretty damn good. It's
It's
really good.
dope.
Yeah, but then don't let that deter you from going to a sim racing expo and trying these things because those things will give you an idea on where do you want to focus your priority, just like Jeff did. Jeff is like, do I go motion or do I just get a belt tensioner? Jeff tries motion, many different motion rigs we stepped into, and he left the floor with in love with the belt tensioner. So that's the path he chose, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's the whole reason we went there. Well, not just the belt tensioner, but that was a big part of the reason was to see what's happening in 2025. What is the new stuff that we don't have access to? And it I'm telling you, it was worth every penny to go out there and try these things. In my opinion, it was. That was, it was a great time we had out there. So, in short, if you can, yes, if you could buy it, buy it. If you can't, save up for it. Because guess what? It's a V1, and I'm pretty sure a V2 will come out one day, right? Maybe we'll have a V2 with those self-adjusting things, Jeff. Imagine, you know? I don't know.
I
you're
love
like
it.
you're thinking like
Man, I just spent
I
a
hope they don't drop a V2 in
yeah, I'm
at
like I
least
just dropped a shiny nickel for this thing. They
2 or
better
3
not.
years, man. Chill. So, I think that's about it. And yet again, we're having too much fun on the show. I I promise track of the week next week. That's
All
it.
right.
Jeff, that's it, bro. Track of the week, the users, the users,
The crowd's getting
our followers. I don't know. Hey, let's take a vote here, guys. If you want to see track of the week at all costs, put it down in the comments below. Let us know.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I want to see it's not going anywhere because track of the week I think is one of my favorite parts. Especially, you know which one was my favorite, bro? It wasn't even the track. It was the cannonball run story. That was so
Oh,
freaking dope. We got to follow up and see what they're doing. When does that go down again?
the cannonball, from New York to California is you just run it when you want to.
Oh,
Whenever
it's all year. Yeah.
you have to go. I think in proof of life and time at Red Ball Garage in New York. I forget where in New York, and then you have in Redondo Beach, California, some hotel.
Redondo.
You want to leave in California or leave New York so you're not stuck in traffic, and then plan your routes. And it's whenever time of year, whenever time of season, whenever time of the day to avoid all this stuff
So
and
Jeff.
just go for it, dude. Yeah, it's a cool story.
So Jeff's retiring. Jeff,
I
when you
mean,
retire, are we gonna run the?
make a run at it. Oh,
You
God.
down?
Dude,
You down to do a run? I'll do
dude,
it with you, bro.
people take out like back seats and put like another 100-gallon fuel tank in there so they don't have to stop for fuel. They have like military grade radar detectors and stuff. And
You know what they should do, bro, is bring MREs so they can freaking make the meals on the go, and
bro, they
bring
do
one
the
of those
hoses so they don't
one
have
of
to
those
stop
bags
for
so they can
bathrooms.
yeah.
Paint it in like radar absorbent material, so even if you do get caught with radar,
You
it
know
just
what I would do, bro?
Yes.
I would eat the MREs. I would turn the heat up in the car and sweat the entire way all the way to California and just hydrate. That way I don't have to do a number 2. All I got to do is number 1 and just keep it going. I bet you anything we could probably don't kids don't try this at home.
There's
Don't.
awesome, dude. The VinWiki YouTube page has a number of these stories. They're fantastic, especially if you're just driving somewhere to listen to them. But
Yeah,
it's a cool
this was
story.
Jeff calling me on the way home from work, from his job, and he's like, "I got an idea for track of the week, but it's not a track." And he was like, "Are you cool with this?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm cool with that, bro. That sounds crazy. I never knew about that. That was
Really?
my favorite. That was my favorite track of the week. And it's not even a track. It was kind of like we used it as a placeholder, if you may.
People using airplanes as their spotters for cops and stuff.
Yeah, they got like 6 GoPros and shit, like watching like radar and all kinds of stuff, radios. That's kind of cool. But anyway, I think that's time's up for now. Very good episode. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much, man.
Always love chatting with you.
Yeah, man, it's always a good time. And hey, for you viewers and listeners out there, check out the Track Go Sim Racing YouTube. I have my thoughts on the QS BT1 video. If you want to see it in my first ever video review, so go and check that out. If you have any questions, though, Jeff and I are still here to follow up on the things that we're using right on our rigs, and we'll let you know. So if you have any specific questions that we didn't go over, or that you didn't find in the video or in any other video, I'm more than happy to accommodate an answer and put that up on the show. So with that, guys, Jeff, thank you so much. And to all you viewers and listeners out there, thank you so much, and have a great start of your week.